I guess in a way that's a little bit related to what you were discussing in the address a little earlier. Us having the proper understanding of our relationship with the nation as a whole, systems of government in particular. What do you think is the thing that we have gotten away from in terms of the way the Imam approached it, and looking at those years those years following his passing, and how those relationships were either maintained or not maintained?
Yeah, so this is akin to the notion that the Imam is America's Imam. Okay, this is language that was introduced after he passed away. He would never have accepted this language, and the reason for it is that the Imam, his appreciation for America is first owing to his love for God and love for what God has planned for human life, and how that perception of what God has planned for human life is the founding documents of this country are complementary to that. It's not the other way around. In other words, the Imam wasn't turned on to America, then turned on to God. And that's what's suggested when you say America's Imam. That you have come into an awareness as an American, and now you're appreciating your Islamic life. No, that's not what happened. America, as it was, as it fixed itself to enslave our people in this country and treat us in a disrespectful, brutal fashion, separating us from our humanity, that didn't invite us to love it. There was no invitation for us to love America. So to suggest that the Imam was in love with America before he was in love with what God intended for man is to discredit his leadership. He was a sincere believer in Allah and a sincere follower of Muhammad the Prophet, and he was turned on to that life. And as a perception of the responsibility that comes to one who has been turned on by that life, now he sees himself as, or understands his role to be, as a spokesman for Islamic interests to civilize America, to help America live up to its claims in the same spirit that Frederick Douglass did. Because Frederick Douglass made it clear that America, you're a hypocrite. You claim democracy. You claim Jesus Christ and Christian ideals. And you claim to be the model of the democratic order and fairness and justice, etc. But your treatment of your subjects, in spite of those claims, as Frederick Douglass said, would shame a nation of savages. So, we're too sentimental. Our people, I'm speaking of Muslims, some Muslims, leaders, too sentimental, too soft in your heart, in the sense that you haven't fixed your heart to a conviction. And so you ready to, we just in love with America. Hold on, fella. Hold on. Pump the brakes, as they say, We have a tradition, and we came to an understanding and an appreciation for America based upon some painful climb. There were some steps involved here, okay? We not leapfrogging over top of everything that happened to our people in America, and how our mind and circumstances have been constructed by the American abuse of our humanity. But we see that the founders, in spite of their sin, saw the true destiny of humanity, and they wanted to see that this society respect that. So in that sense, we embrace America, the American life, and we want the American life, and we love our democracy, but not before we're turned on by what God intended for us. It was not America that brought us civilization. We weren't civilized by America. And if you look at what America can do because of this, as the Imam put it, self-purging idea that it has, what it can do to your moral nature, then you see the destruction in America, you see the destruction of human lives, you think America is ruled by the devil. If you see the destruction, you go in some of these cities and you see the abuses and what have you, and what is permitted to exist in the name of American freedom, the confusion in terms of sexual identity, perversions, etc., that are permitted to exist as though they are natural. It might be natural for the brain, if you understand what I mean, because the brain can fix itself to think anything. The brain is powerful, right? A person can look in the mirror and say, I'm a frog. And that person will believe it because the brain is convincing them of it, right? Powerful tool in our head, in our skull. But what would have that human being believing it's a fraud? A bad influence coming from the nature of freedom in America. So we have to be very careful, and we have to be selective and disciplined in the way that we present our life and what we choose to embrace from America. What we choose to embrace is the purity of the democratic idea. We embrace that, but we don't embrace all of its freedoms, and we certainly don't embrace this idea of excessive freedom. We don't embrace that. That's not acceptable in Islamic teaching, and not just Islam, but Christian too, and Jewish teaching too. Everything that America opens up in terms of what is freedom is not cherished by Jews. It's not cherished by Christians. They reject it. They don't want certain things for their life because they know that it's not in accord with the life that God intends for us. So in this way, we have to speak clearly and openly and honestly to America.